Well, good morning, folks. How you doing? Okay, so this talk here will be on Rome and Lucifer's Underground Part 2. And this is where we're going to be looking into Rome's influence for this future one world government. You know, all these people that are planning these things out. So we're going to be looking at the evidence. The main, we're going to be looking at the Jesuits, Freemasons, the United Nations, the Illuminati by Adam Weishaupt, and the Rothschilds. These two here are kind of connected with each other, and they also have the connections with the Freemasons as well. And of course, we know that the Freemasons and Jesuits are secretly connected at the top, or Rome, like so the popes and all them, because they're all Luciferians. You'll find out that all of these people at the top are secretly Luciferians. Which means that they're Roman god Lucifer, which is our devil. So the Antichrist is connected to Rome in Daniel 7 and Revelations 12, 13 and 17, as we'll read here. So in Revelations 13, verse 7, it says here, "And it was given unto him to make war with the saints, and to overcome them, and power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations." Okay, so this will be eventually Apollyon, because he's given the Antichrist. The fallen angel working with the Antichrist will be a one world government king over kindreds and tongues and nations. This is when the Antichrist has world dominion eventually. And these people of Rome are laying the foundation stone for this coming Antichrist. And of course we know that the Roman Catholics, Luciferians at the very top, are connected to the Freemasons. So what we're going to be looking at is the plans for a world government, which roots back to Rome eventually. It is to do with the occult world, which is of course a hidden secret world, who have planned to have a one world government. Now, just to help us to understand what this one world government is, it basically, I found a good way here. It says here, one world government refers to the idea of a central government whose authority extends across the entirety of this planet. So eventually over the whole world. The idea is generally that the many countries of the world would join together, so they're going to be an agreement eventually, in a federation under one central government, similar to how federal states such as the United States, Australia, Canada, or Switzerland were formed. This is to help us. So again, the Antichrist will have the following kind of points as what we'd be expecting to see. As a one world government, as one dictator ruling the whole entire world. He makes decisions and policies for the world. He can put a stop to wars and tribulations, as there's only one dictator anyway. So this will eventually lead to one military, one financial system, and a one world religion, which Alice Bailey of the United Nations had talked about, about the universal religion having sway. And of course, in Daniel 11, we saw that the Antichrist is not liked by people at first, but he rises by himself to take over the world eventually through peace and war. So he's a man of peace and he's a man of war, working with Apollyon, the destroying angel. So these people here of Rome, they're not going to be expecting this man here to eventually take this position eventually. So they're going to be quite surprised, as we've read about in Daniel 11. So we've got Rome and a one world government. So the points we're going to cover is its religious organization origins, connected to eventually root back to Rome anyway. 2, its plans, and 3, how the plans are carried out for this one world government. Now when it comes to this one here, we're going to have to go through a lot of several talks for the future in order to make sense out of how they actually carry out these plans for the eventual one world government. But we'll look at its plans eventually. But it's quite, I realize there's a lot going on here. A lot more than I thought, couldn't believe it. So anyway, we've got the Jesuits here and the one world government. And it says here, this is back at the time of Napoleon. It says here, in Napoleon's memoirs, he said, "The Jesuits are a military organization, not a religious order. The chief is a general of an army, not the mere father abbot of a monastery. And the aim of this organization is power in its most despotic exercise absolute power, universal power, power to control the world by the volition of a single man, which eventually will be our world government. So it's interesting that he would be talking like this. So Jesuits of Rome are basically a world leader or a government, in the future. Now we're going to be looking into Adam Weishaupt, the founder of the Illuminati. He was an ex-Jesuit who joined the Freemasons. And within Freemasonry, he created another secret society called the Illuminati. Weishaupt built a strong organization modeled on the Jesuits, so he's learned a lot from the Jesuits. He devised plans for a one-world government. And one of the interesting dates here that we need to keep in mind is that the Illuminati was founded in the 1st of May, 1776. So because of the Illuminati's connections to Freemasonry, it shouldn't surprise us if if some of the top Freemasons are going to be interested in having a one-world government as well. So, but you'll find that because Albert Pike, he also talked about being fascinated with the idea of having a one-world government anyway. So there will be some high-level Freemasons that are into that as well. Now this book here by William Guy Carr, it's called Pawns in the Game, and this man here, there was actually another man, an ex-FBI agent, who actually he says to actually read this book. He uses this book as a type of textbook, and because the man, William Guy Carr, was analysing the Luciferian agenda, that who actually wants a one-world government. And so Commander Carr has had a distinguished naval career. During World War I, he served as navigating officer of HM submarines. In World War II, he was naval control officer for the St. Lawrence, then staff officer operations at Shelbourne, NS, and then senior naval officer at Goose Bay, Labrador. As an officer on the staff of Commodore Reginald Brock, he organised the 7th Victory Loan for the 22 Royal Canadian Naval Training Division. So this is a very well-disciplined man. So he's, I rely on his analysis of him looking at lots of documents and manuscripts concerning these people that are looking for a one-world government. So in William Guy Carr's book here, this is to do with the Rothschilds, the bankers of the Rothschild dynasty. This is their connections to Adam Weishaupt's plans. And he says here in this book here, a record of historical events told in chronological order connects the House of Rothschild with the Jewish Illuminati in Frankfurt and the Illuminati within French Freemasonry, known as the Grand Orient Lodge, will be shown. So this is just me kind of going through the summaries of what he had found himself. And also, Dr. Adam Weishaupt, after studying French philosophers such as Voltaire, he supposedly learned the teachings of Satanism in the French royal court. World-famous central banker Mayer Amschel Rothschild of the Rothschild dynasty chose Weishaupt to create the Coven of Golden Dawn, which to this day is Rothschild's private coven. So it actually is still around. Rothschilds instructed Weishaupt to create the ancient illuminated series of Bavaria. This is better known as the Order of the Illuminati, Order of the Golden Dawn, and Secret Society, Ben Stuart Esoteric Agenda. So we've got the Rothschilds here. Oops, sorry. The Rothschilds here will be secretly, are actually, through the book anyway, we're going to look at more evidence of this in a future talk, is that they're secretly working towards Adam's goals for this one world government. And here's Lucifer connections to the United Nations. This is just looking at some of it. Lucas Trust is the publishing house which prints and disseminates United Nations material. It is a devastating indictment of the New Age and pagan nature of the UN. Lucas Trust was established in 1922 as Lucifer Trust by Alice Bailey as the publishing company to disseminate the books of Bailey and Blavatsky and the Theosophical Society. And Blavatsky, the Theosophical Society, is almost like a mixture. They're kind of mixing different religious ideas together. They don't believe that there's one religion that has an answer to everything. So they're basically taking different Eastern, a lot of Hindu kind of ideas and different religions, and like they're looking for their own truth, you know. And she also believes that Lucifer is an equal to our God, Yahweh, and she believes that Lucifer is a good God as well, which of course is very deceptive. And also we find that the United Nations also want a one world government as well, and we'll see more evidence of that, of them talking on this. So we have the Jesuits, Freemasons, United Nations, Rothschild family, and Illuminati all want a one world government as their goal, is what eventually it leads to. Now we're going to look at the Illuminati existence evidence, right? Because they kind of went underground, the Illuminati did. So because they were kind of outlawed because the government of Bavaria, they discovered the papers they had, and they decided, they wanted to outlaw the Illuminati, so they had to, kind of like get rid of them. So they think that he might have went underground at some point, with this secret society, and we're going to find some evidence of this in America. Now, when we look at the American dollar bill, it actually has the all-seeing eye of Apollyon destroyer, which we find to be in a lot of the churches. So you probably can't really see it that well here, but there's a shining eye there, because he was a type of, like this would be the star, or this type of sun god. They also have the date 1st of May 1776, which is the date when the Illuminati had formed secretly by Adam Weishaupt, and it's down there in Roman numerals, right there at the bottom of the pyramid. And also, Adam Weishaupt, the founder of the Illuminati in 1776, uses the owl of Minerva, the bird of wisdom, as the official symbol. Okay, so think about the owl. And what I find interesting next is that on the dollar bill, you actually have a small owl. It's very, some people have spotted this, but it looks like a type of small kind of owl, just hidden right there. It's a bit hard to see, but. And an interesting thing in California, this is actually an area where the presidents actually meet. They actually do strange rituals with this owl here, this giant owl statue, and they'd actually do fake mock human sacrifices.